Phil, David, thank you both for being with us here at the Intel booth at Embedded World. It's been an exciting show.
Yep, thank you very much for having us on.
We launched product yesterday. We launched our new Intel Core Series 2 with P-cores, which is a great industrial product, time-coordinated computing built in for that sort of precision in execution that's so important in industrial manufacturing. We also recently launched our Intel Core Ultra Series 3, which has a lot of AI capabilities for the edge. And you use many of our products in your solutions. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what dedicated computing provides?
So dedicated computing serves verticals that are characterized by regulatory requirements. So long life cycle is a must with our customer base. So whether it be medical or other industries, we rely on Intel to provide us with long life cycle support. And as we look at this next generation of processors that are coming through, we're seeing a lot of performance to handle the workloads that our customers require in the future.
It's really important to serve those markets. And to your point, our latest Intel Core Ultra is the first one to provide 10-year life cycle support. So it's going to keep going for a long time. And we do that for a lot of our key products. When you think about how you architect those solutions, what are you looking for in some of those key markets? What is the key product characteristics?
So you're looking for, the customer's workload, understanding where that's going. So you want to have some headroom. So, performance now is great, but you're looking for performance in the future because our customers, once they develop their solutions, are going to sell that solution for 5 to 7 to 10 years beyond that point in time. So having that headroom on the performance is really important. Being on the edge, you want it to have some good characteristics around power. You want them to be efficient. So you've got the balance of performance and the efficiency that you're really looking for.
Makes sense. Now, one of the hottest workloads right now is AI at the edge. What are you seeing in the transformation towards edge AI?
Okay, so yeah, all of our customers are trying to figure out ways to integrate AI and deliver better outcomes for their solutions. So we're working closely with you guys to understand how do we make it digestible to customers, and the software stacks that you're creating, the reference designs, we're finding ways to integrate with that and then promote it to customers and help sell our products.
Are there a couple of use cases that are starting to emerge as ones that customers should really pay attention to?
Oh, within AI. So if you go by vertical, we have a big presence in healthcare. So finding ways to automate diagnosis and help clinicians do it faster, that's a big use case. Other uses of AI would be to help identify things as you're making scans with images. So those are some of the quick examples.
That's great, and there are so many, and they're emerging very rapidly. It's a quick changing field.
Yes.
One of the things we're most excited about with our Core Ultra Series 3 product is it has enough AI performance that you often don't need a discrete accelerator, and that can simplify the system. What sort of value do you see that giving to delivering for customers?
Yeah, so if you can remove the need for discrete graphics in your system, discrete graphics is known for having short life cycles, just because of the nature of the product. So if we can take advantage of integrated capabilities and reduce the need for those, that helps us deliver solutions that can be in the market for a longer period of time without having to recycle those GPUs. And leveraging the 10-year availability on your products, we can have those products in the market for longer.
Now we know that these solutions aren't just about hardware, they're also about software. Yeah. You have to develop sophisticated software solutions around the product. We do too. Which software capabilities do you rely on from Intel, and then where are you adding value for customers as well?
So I think when you look at the stack, OpenVINO is really important. OpenVINO obviously allows you to create a lot of capability and be able to move it across different processor families.
OpenVINO for AI inferencing specifically. Yeah,
right. Absolutely. Yeah. So for us, it's that's a key player. We're providing a platform to our customers. So we take the building blocks that Intel provides. We combine that, we architect that into a solution as a platform, which obviously has to have operating system support, obviously has to take into account the customer's workloads, and mostly with our customers, they're forming an image around their application, which we will then integrate and ensure that that is an integrated platform meets their requirements.
Some of these solutions get quite sophisticated, and we work together closely to serve the needs of those customers. When they're choosing a solution provider, what should they be looking for?
A broad base of capabilities based upon their end market. So, as I mentioned earlier, in a highly regulated market, it's very important that, yes, Intel provides you with the ability to have 10 years on the chipset, but we have to make sure that the entire platform supports that.
Absolutely.
So that's part of the added value that we would bring to the party, and the designers need to be looking for. Because as David mentioned, if you introduce a short-term component like a discrete GPU into the total solution, now you have more change, and there's a significant cost to change in those regulated markets.
You make a great point. It doesn't help if 80% of a solution can last for 10 years if the other 20% dies in 3.
Absolutely.
Right.
So then being wise about which components you select and how you put the solution together really matters. When you're working with customers who are newly considering AI in this space and are looking at these solutions, what would be a couple of key pieces of advice you would give them?
Yeah, so I mean, you have to right size based upon your use case, what your outcome you're trying to achieve, and the performance that the system offers. So we're working closely with you and your Edge AI suite to sort of understand the capabilities of the systems, and then the customers understand their workloads best. So I think that symbiotic, discussion can happen, and we can help them choose the right platform. So they don't, buy something that's overpowered for what they need and also spend too much money, but also with long-term availability and the performance in mind.
So it helps optimize TCO for those customers. Well, it's great partnering with you at the Edge. We have a long history of doing so together, and look forward to that continuing. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.